So my name is Danuta Mosakowska-Earnshaw, and it is my privilege to be the director of the Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology at the Jagiellonian University. As part of this talk, we want to share with you the importance of leading research excellence in a research environment. So a little bit about myself. I come from both academia and big pharma background, and over the years I've had a lot of experience in leading projects, and in the last 5.5 years I've been here at the Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology, and it has been a true privilege to serve in the capacity of director. So to be successful, let me describe first of all what the Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology is. We are a postgraduate research institute as part of the Jagiellonian University that focuses on the gene, to protein, to function, to translation, and we're very keen to translate our research when the time is right. So what we do is we have managed to launch 3 biotech companies. How do we become a research centre of excellence? So the vision when I first came here in 2020, and I started in January, was for us to become a research centre of excellence with a very strong supportive culture that enables the scientists to be the best they can be and to equip them to do the type of work that is really world class. Now, vision is very important, because if you have vision, you have a goal. If you have a goal, then you can look at the steps that you need to take to achieve that goal. So when I first started here, I thought it was really important that everybody understood the vision, and the vision has never changed. We're still working to this vision, but all the actions we do is we try and look at our excellence and how we achieve that excellence.
Good morning, my name is Grzegorz Dubin and I'm a group leader at the Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology. My research interest is in structural biology, but for the last 3 years I'm also a vice director for general affairs at our center. So Danuta was telling you about the vision of the center, and I would like to tell you about the broader vision which drives my work here. And this broader vision is the Małopolska becoming the hub of biotech research in Poland with the benefit for the society. So a little bit about the role of the vision. So the vision is like a beacon, it tells us where to go. I was a sailor myself, and when you sail offshore, and when you do it in the night, you basically can't see anything apart from the beacon, and it's very comforting because you always know where you are and where to go. And this is exactly the role of the vision in professional life. So whenever you don't know what to do or you are not sure, you look at the vision and you simply follow the direction which it shows you. The other thing is the part for the benefit of the society. So you have to have a reason to go into a particular direction, and a reason that helps you overcome the challenges. And for me, this is exactly what gives me a drive in whatever I'm doing. So Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology fits perfectly into that vision of Małopolska as a biotech hub. But you also need an environment. You can't really do much being alone at the desert. And the environment is great around here because we have a large talent pool. We have large universities which educate clever people. We have investments. For the last 20 years, there has been a lot of investments from the government, from the European Union in the region, which brought about many opportunities. And we also have a relatively large biotech area here in Małopolska. What we need on top of that is a meeting and collaboration space for business, research, environment, and science. And this is something which I've been involved in the last several years. I've been trying to create such a space. And for that, you need to bring together a diverse group of people. And here again, the role of the vision comes, because when you bring together a diverse group of people over whom you don't have the authority, you need to somehow direct them. And even if you had the authority, you wouldn't be able to manage all those people because the field is so diverse. But the way of directing them is by setting the vision, and it really works perfectly, because if you can only convince those people to follow a common vision, then they simply follow it by themselves, and you don't necessarily need to do much apart from setting the direction. So regarding the success of the last years, we as the Małopolska Center of Biotechnology have certainly progressed a lot. Our research outcomes have improved. Our group have consolidated, and we've been set on the right path for even larger success in the future, for which I very much hope for.
So, if we want to have be a centre of research excellence with an international reputation, how do we gain that international reputation, and what do we need to do for that international reputation? So one of the things I did to begin with was to look at benchmarking and looking at how we can take what we do here and compare what we do to others. So as part of the benchmarking, I looked at several institutes across Europe. That includes the CRG in Barcelona, the CEMM in Vienna, the Abraham Institute in Cambridge, the International Institute of Molecular and Cell Biology in Warszawa, and the FMI in Basel. And how do we compare to them? To have a worldwide reputation, it's really down to a simple few facts. One, you have to do world-class research. Two, you have to be seen to be doing the world-class research. And three, you've got to get the money to support that world-class research. So when I started looking at the publications of the other institutes, it became very clear that we were publishing a little too much and lower quality. Now, if you want to enact a vision, you have to then persuade your staff to buy into that vision. And scientists are an incredibly talented, are very individual, independent people, and they need to be to succeed in research. So you have a group of people and you need to persuade them that they need to change. And that is part of leadership. However, on the plus side is that scientists are also very comfortable with data. And what we did is, or what I did is I presented the data to the scientists, and they could see from that how the other institutes compared. And also, to get them to buy into the vision, you have to explain why there needs to be a change. And it was a very simple decision, and a very simple explanation for them is that if they get the best publications, they will be recognised in the world. If they're recognised in the world, they will be asked to collaborate with some of the best leading groups. And also, they're much more likely to get the big grants, because that's what people look for in the big grants. So as is typical in any research organisation or any management situation, you have early adopters who immediately spot the problem and start doing things. And the second people are who watch and wait and see. But I can say that when we're looking at the metrics, we've probably significantly changed how we publish. So, for example, we now publish over 50% of our papers, nearly 60% of our papers in the top 10% journals that are understood worldwide to be of really excellent quality, compared to what we did 6 years ago before I started, and there was a 20% improvement in publication in the top 10% journals. So what you have is vision, you have benchmarking, and what you also have is now persuading people to follow the vision. When we look at excellence and our central vision of we want to be a centre of research excellence with an international reputation, part of the process is recruiting the best people we can. And over the last few years, we were able to recruit Matt Sikora, who is a Max Planck Group leader that is based here at the MCB. We've recruited an American, Curtis Davey, whose passion is the structure of nucleosomes. And we've also recruited Magda Masłoń, who is a RNA biologist. And there have been numerous other people, but these are the new groups that we've formed at MCB in the last few years.
Hello there, I'm Curtis Davey. I just joined the faculty here as a group leader or professor last May. Haven't even been here a year, but it was a very enticing and attractive place for me to join, in particular because of the atmosphere and culture, that there seemed to be no barriers, whether language, cultural, or otherwise. And I think this is the key part in pursuing excellence in science, is then not having, or that everyone's on the same page and there's no perceived or actual barriers, that we can all kind of work together on the same level. And so this is something that really caught my attention when I was interviewing last year, and I feel like we can really achieve our primary goal, which is to be excellent, conduct excellent research on a global scale, international scale. And this is something actually quite unique for Poland, and Poland is still trying to bring itself up to the level of the big neighbors to the west, like the UK, Switzerland, and Germany. And I think this is the way to do it. Anyway, so I am really very enthusiastic, and this is why I wanted to come here in the first place, that we're all kind of on the same wavelength, and I think this is the only way that we can achieve our big goals, which is to basically be international players in biotech. And for my own research aspirations, which revolve around chromatin, that is the genome, DNA regulation, the cell, I think this is the best place I can be to exploit some of these ideas that we've been working on for many years, and potentially to apply them to the biotechnological and therapeutic spaces. So thank you for your time.
My name is Magda Masłoń. I work on gene expression regulation in neurodevelopment. I joined MCB a year ago as a junior PI, and I immediately loved the culture. What we recognize is that it's not only important what research we do, but also how people experience the environment in which research happens. We recognize contributions of everyone. We value the work of technicians, students, the admin, the receptionists, the clinic staff. It's such environment that motivates everyone to show up and do the best they can do. And it also inspires me to celebrate success at any level, finished financial report, as well as an important discovery in the lab. Scientifically, I have access to core facilities, genomics facility, mass spec facility. MCB recognizes that we cannot be experts at everything, and we need experimental support from technical experts in various fields. This allows us to compete at the international level.
My name is Igor Kaczmarczyk, and I am a PhD student in the group of Professor Sebastian Glatt, where we investigate the structure, biogenesis, and function of tRNA modifications. The culture at the MCB is giving me a safe space to investigate my own ideas freely. What I really appreciate here is a policy and a feeling that everyone is equal, so we can approach anyone to discuss, to ask for help, to question anyone's ideas, to improve our own project or to help others to improve their own. Science is not an individual task anymore. Nowadays, we need a team to support our research ideas and to execute them. I am very happy that at MCB we have such international and interdisciplinary community where we can find help and expertise in the field which we require to improve our project.
The second aspect of becoming a centre of research excellence is to unite people in the vision. I've already mentioned that, but to unite people, what we need is a really strong culture. I've said scientists are very independent, and it's wonderful because to survive in the academic world, they have to be strong, they have to be independent, but you're much more likely to succeed if you work as a team of people. So part of the improvement in quality of research is actually having a very, very, very strong culture. And the culture that we've embodied in the last few years is can-do, and it's building confidence. And the can-do is that a lot of people, and particularly some people from the culture here, is they often start saying what can't be done. And instead of doing that, it's what can't be done yet and what do we need to do to be able to do it. So nobody's allowed to come into my office and complain. They're allowed to say what's wrong, but they're not allowed to say and moan. What they have to say is how do they think that things can be improved. A second aspect is we have the principle that although people have labs and are assigned to labs and are very successful in getting equipment, if somebody is successful in getting equipment, other people have access to it. People can't put the equipment in a lab and just use it for themselves. We use the equipment together and different people have the access. Obviously, they have to have the training, it has to be agreement with time, but this means that people can share equipment and it makes the research much more efficient.
Hi, my name is Yusuke. I moved to MCB at around 5 to 6 years ago. And before I was working in Japan and Switzerland. Why I came here is mainly for the good access to the modern infrastructure, like modern instrument to perform the research here. And particularly in my field, we work in the structural biology, solving the structure of the biomolecule. And here, MCB is very close proximity to the Solaris, the national synchrotron, where the modern X-ray laser and also the microscopes are available. And also the MCB has a dedicated technician to operate this infrastructure, like a research instrument. And that's really like a big help for our research.
Hi, I'm Vidhi. I am a second year PhD student in biomedical sciences in the doctoral school at MCB. I'm a part of Dioscuri Center, which is a Max Planck research group here. We are we are also supported by Max Planck in Frankfurt, and we are mainly located in MCB. And I'm working on using simulations, biomolecular simulations, on understanding how glycans affect neurotransmitter receptors and how they work. So it's a big interdisciplinary field, and being in MCB supports that because we are not a very field limited institute, but we have a lot of interdisciplinarity, which is great. Two things I really like: one is international, environment, and second is independence. I think with time we are realizing that being global is something which will definitely accelerate science a lot. So at MCB, not only we are global in terms of people here, but we are also in terms of our collaboration. So that's something which is ahead of time in Polish research environment, definitely. Second is independence. I think we have a lot of liberty in pursuing projects which are ambitious and important. And we also have a chance and information on how we can support it via fundings and via other initiatives. These things, I think, make doing science really, it's very helpful to do science in such a place. So I'm actually very happy to be here. Yes.
The second aspect of the culture that I thought was really important to stress is confidence. When I first came here, people would tell me all the stuff you couldn't do because they came from Poland. And I was a little bit mystified. Why? Because I could see that my Austrian group leader and my British group leader had no problem working in Poland and actually being very successful. So that came down to exploring a very detailed, working with the group leaders and trying to break down some of these lack of confidence and finding out the reasons for it. And I'm really pleased to say that nearly all my group leaders now have published in really prestigious journals such as Nature Communications and some of the really big journals. And it isn't my UK or Austrian or overseas group leaders who are doing it. It's coming from our Polish staff. And that confidence and the belief that they can do it means that they'll try. And if you try, you're more likely to succeed. So the next aspect that I really want to talk to, and it is part of the cultural discussion, is that I personally favour the supportive style of leadership. I have an open door policy. Anybody can come and see me. So when the doors open, I'm available for discussion. I also strongly believe in team leadership. I know that I make mistakes. I know other people make mistakes. So when you work in a team, it's great to discuss decision making, and I work with my leadership team, my vice directors and various other group leaders in MCB, is to check my thinking. So, and sometimes that I'm absolutely spot on. Sometimes I really value their input and it adjusts my thinking and sort of adjusting the direction we need to take. That type of leadership is a lot more difficult than the dictatorial type of leadership. This is what I say, this is what you do. It's very effective for a short time, but actually you do not get the benefit of the wisdom of people around you. And if you're like that, they're not likely to buy into the vision. So what you want is to get people to follow you because they believe in what you're trying to do. And to get them to follow you and to do to follow the vision, they have to believe in you and trust you. So if they want to trust you, you need to listen to them. You need to take on board what they say, because actually most of them are smarter than me, and that is the value. But as I said, that leadership is much more complicated. People will come, they will dispute with you, and it'd be so much easier to say, no, I'm not listening, we're doing it this way. No, it takes time, it takes effort, and it is a privilege to actually work in a team and hear the wisdom of others. So that is a critical part of, to my mind, of building a strong, supportive culture that supports the vision and the direction.
My name is Ania Kula-Pakurar. I am a virologist. I like the vision of MCB, which is about supportive culture based on helping each other, no hierarchy, and based on trust. This inspires me as a young group leader to create a similar atmosphere within my group, which I truly believe drives the excellence. MCB is an international place where we have the unique opportunity to train young scientists. This international atmosphere helps to have open-minded attitude when new ideas can emerge.
Hello, my name is Ania Biela. I'm a postdoc in Sebastian Glatt ERC grant. My main focus are tRNA modifications, their influence on tRNA structure and function. So at MCB, we have very international and multidisciplinary environment, and this is the greatest thing actually of working here. By internationality, I mean not only people from abroad, but also Polish scientists that join us after being in different European or worldwide units. This brings us external view, broader perspective, and helps us to reach our goals easier. Another great thing in working here is that despite we are in different teams, we all together create one big team. We support each other, we exchange ideas, we exchange equipment, we learn each other about new techniques. We have regular seminars where we share our knowledge and our recent results, and we can also count on support, on comments, on feedback. And we also really act as one team to reach our common goals.
Hi, I'm Wanam Gondovi, and I'm a fourth-year PhD student in the lab of Dr. Rafał Mostowy. My PhD studies involve looking at bacteriophages, and I'm interested in horizontal gene transfer between bacteriophages. I really like working at MCB because it is an international environment or institution which does promote multicultural diversity, and also it promotes teamwork where different groups work together to share scientific ideas and knowledge weekly. And finally, it provides an enabling environment where PhD students can thrive in their research by promoting open communication between students and even the supervisors and fellow PhD students.
So I want to summarise with some additional points about what it means to have excellence in leadership, to then create the right culture to help people and our unit to really compete with the world. One of the things is a consistency of message. We have been very clear from the start, where we have been talking about what our vision is, what we need to do, and how we're going to achieve it. And that has not changed in 5.5 years. So every step we take is in consideration of what that vision is. Secondly, as a leader, you have to walk the talk. I don't know if you're familiar with this management term, but it's no good telling people what to do and then not doing it yourself. So what you have to do is you have to model what you say and you have to do it. So for example, you know, I expect people to work hard. I do not believe in a 24/7 culture. I think that's unhealthy, unsupportive, and it destroys people. But I do believe in a really good, strong work ethic. So if I believe in a strong work ethic, I have to show a strong work ethic. Another aspect that I think is critically important is empowerment and delegation. I have the most fantastic administrative staff. The administrative staff, we often discuss things together, and if they have problems, they'll come to me. But they are good at what they do, and the administrative staff are just as important to this institute as the research scientists, the cleaners and the people who sit at reception. When we talk about empowerment and delegation, my administrators understand finance, they understand the details of the university procedures. I do not. Therefore, it's absolutely no point in me attending meetings where I can't contribute, and I will delegate the right staff to go to the right meetings because they should know and they are the best equipped to answer the questions. If I went, it would be an absolute disaster. So it's knowing your own limitations and trusting people. Now, trust is an incredibly important thing. It takes years to build trust up, but it can take minutes to destroy that trust. I trust my staff. If they get it wrong, well, we learn from the mistakes. If I get it wrong, I learn from my mistakes. And it's really important to own up to errors. But people don't get shouted at here. Often people will say, okay, so what did you learn from that situation? What will you do differently next time? Part of leadership is also being available to people and mentoring them. Research scientists get a PhD, then they might do a postdoc, then they might get a grant and they lead a grant, and then they might get a bigger grant and they have staff. And this is where the academic system does not train people well into how to manage people and how to manage groups. Very often, what they will do is they will then reproduce what they have experience to, because there's a lot of training programs on leadership. You can do a lot of leadership courses, but that is just training. You don't know what to do until you are faced with the situation. So I have chosen to invest a lot of time with individual group leaders and individuals, and to help them overcome some of the problems they face. And it's a regular occurrence, and I've worked with every group leader who suddenly realises they're facing a situation and they don't really know what to do. So I think it's the role of a leader to mentor, to support and equip, and in turn those people will then pass that knowledge to others. And it is definitely an area of investment to train academic leaders, but it's not just doing courses, it's about the long-term support and the mentoring on the job.
Hi, my name is Maciej Kora. I'm currently a Dioscuri Max Planck group leader here at Małopolska Center for Biotechnology. And in our group, we are trying to use computer simulations to understand how proteins, how the modifications of proteins change the proteins work and interact with drugs, with other proteins. And in the past, I have worked in several very good institutions like IST Austria or Max Planck. And I have to say that in MCB, I have found pieces of infrastructure and work culture which I have been used to in the past, in Austria and in Germany. One of the things that is organized in a very good way in MCB is the mentoring of the group leaders. We have a very well-structured and developed system for mentoring. We are, for instance, pitching the ideas for different grants. We get a lot of feedback on that, which really helps to speed up the process of grant writing. And one other thing which I think excels in MCB is the fact that the administrative structure is very flat. So we have very good access to our director. We can go directly and ask for different things, and impossible is not in the dictionary. So these things work very well.
So being a leader is about courage, it's about resilience, it's about being able to justify the decisions that you have taken that people may not agree with, but respect. Because in the long term, a decision is better than no decision. And if you make a decision and it's wrong, having the courage to change it and admit to improve that. So I really want to thank you who are listening, and I hope you've got a flavour of what we do here at the Małopolska Centre of Biotechnology at the Jagiellonian University, and have a slightly better understanding of the principles of research management. Thank you.